What's up, world? Welcome to the Man Up Club Presents podcast. I am your host, Celena Lena, aka Sis from Sis and Low Bro. I also work at the Man Up Club as the program coordinator. Today is a really good episode. We're going to talk about art, we're going to talk about fatherhood, and we're going to talk about the fight for discipline. I have a very special guest here with me today. His name is Joseph S. Bard. Okay, he's also known as Drunken Monkeee. The only one, okay? He's from Chicago, Illinois. His community considers him as an unsung hero. You know, he gave Chance the Rapper his first show. He's interviewed over 400 artists in the independent artistry lane. And he's also a community facilitator, an event producer, and a youth media specialist. Say what's up, Joseph.
Yo. Peace and blessings to the beautiful people of planet Earth. I go by the name of Joseph S. Bard, but my superheroic intergalactic b-boy sensation name is Drunken Monkeee. Drunken Monkeee like the martial art, Drunken Monkeee like a Jackie Chan movie, not like being the drunk uncle at the barbecue, but basically my love for martial arts, anime, as well as comic books that rolled up all into Drunken Monkeee. But you spell it M-O-N-K with the 3 E's. The 3 E's stand for Englewood Energetic Experience. Some people like to spell it E-Y. Some people spell it with 2 E's. I have an integrity with my name is Drunken Monkeee, M-O-N-K with the 3 E's. There's no Y in me.
There you have it. He's also known as DJ M'Baku.
Yeah,
Okay,
yes.
I got you. See, so he does a lot of different things, you know. So first things first, in this segment, we're going to dive into your background. You feel me? Just your roots, you know, getting to know who you are, you know. This is definitely going to be a very interesting conversation. So let's just get into it. I call this the gumbo of you.
Yummy.
Okay? So if we all think of ourselves as gumbo, right? First question is, what are the ingredients that make you who you are? You know, you're from Chicago. What was life like in Chicago? What were your family dynamics like?
Yeah. I label it like different seasons, different spices, different herbs. The soul herbs started with my family, my upbringing, coming from two beautiful upbringing families of the Bards, the Hamilton, the Clydes, where I was the black rose in my family. My mother's side was like strong, independent Southern women that worked real hard, that had right crosses like Mike Tyson or like any boxing champion that pride themselves on family, culture, tradition, and God. As well as the Bard side, they represented the music. Everything was music. Grandfather being Baptist preachers as well as like evangelist choirs and everything. Like, so it's like the best of them both worlds where, you know, my grandmother, that's who I spent a lot of time with growing up, had me like really deep in the church. I was the young scholar that was always with my grandmother performing, praying. I was the ring bearer in weddings. So like spirituality really play a part of that. And my family with the soul coming from Mississippi to Chicago, Southside Englewood.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's interesting how you know, families of deep faith, it's like they always have a rich talent in music.
yes.
It's like music and faith go hand in hand.
Yeah. And that's one reason why I think a lot of people been gravitating to the new movie Sinners.
Oh my gosh.
Especially
Yes!
because
Woo!
that's like my family right there. I come from a family of
Wow.
Southern men that was twins. You know, I had aunties that was like Annie, you know what I'm saying? And it was like juke joints. Like the more I got older and started researching my history, like why am I being so much into performing, throwing events, everything? You are where you come from. So I always like to go back in my ancestry line to see who was doing what I'm doing now. And come to find out that's what my grandparents was doing when they first moved to Chicago, coming from the South. So it's just like the movie Sinners, like that entire world to me. Yeah.
That's so rich. And when you speak, like, I can hear all of it. You know what I'm saying? I could tell that you're a man who takes pride in his ancestry.
Yeah.
You know, his history. Because it's not just you that's here, but it's all your experiences and everything.
Yeah.
But Okay, Englewood though. What okay, for a lot of people who didn't grow up in that community, like can you just describe what the Chicago lifestyle is for a young black man?
For me in Englewood, let me throw it out there. Englewood is considered to be one of the highest ranking crime communities in Chicago, but it's still beauty in Englewood. You still have violence, you still have robberies, but it's still peace, it's still love, it's still community. When I first moved here to Minneapolis, I got on the north side and I felt like I was at home. It
Mm.
felt like I
Mm.
was in Englewood because, especially on Broadway, shout out to Sammy's Avenue Eatery, my uncle's shop. That's where I really crash landed at, and it felt like home. That's what Englewood felt like, especially now with the community of artistry, um, grants, et cetera, et cetera. It's like art is really like the main focus of Englewood amongst all the crime. Even when Martin Luther King did his first march in Chicago, it was in Englewood.
Mm.
So
Mm.
Englewood have a very rich, gang infested, et cetera, but still families, still like strong gang banging culture that's centered around community. So I grew up in all of that where my cousins was GDs, BDs, vice lords, but they understood that I was a black rose. They understood that I was different, so they kept me out the streets. You
Mm.
know what I'm saying? They kept me closer to like my grandmother and them. But you know, just like any young man, you addicted to like the role models that's in your life.
Right.
And my father represented that. My cousin Alfie represented that. My uncles and them represented that. So growing up in Englewood, it wasn't nothing that was crazy that I'd be like, oh my God, it was traumatizing. It was beautiful because God blessed me to be the black rose in my community where everybody in the community kept me out of trouble.
Wow. See, what's interesting about it is like you would think that family members, well, maybe no, not family members, because since they're family, they love you. So, like you said, they want to keep you out of that stuff. But it's like, haven't you been approached with opportunities to get into that though? But it did it
Of
ever? It came
course.
from your family or it came from outside people?
It came from, you know what? I say to my father. My father, it's three lessons, gems that he gave me in my life that I kept close to me. And, you know, some people may say that it's harsh, but my father, at a young age, he was like, Joseph, if you ever join a gang, I will blow your head off.
Mm.
Like, it was harsh.
That's what your
But
dad said.
that's what my dad said to me. But me, that kept me from joining the gang. That kept me from when the opportunities approach. Like I'm known within my community, like then fought like 8 to 9 people because of like, yo, you joining this gang. It's like, no, my father gave me a principle, so I stayed true to my father principles. That's not to act say that I didn't act like I didn't excuse me. That's not to act like I wasn't trying to perpetrate some parts of my life. It was the moments getting to high school, you try to act like you're a GD. You try to act like you're a stone. You try to act like you cool to fit in.
Mm-hmm.
But like that has always stayed true to me when them opportunities approach to be a part of street culture that no, I can't do that.
Mm.
That's not the wave.
You
That's
kept.
not what I'm trying to do. And I don't judge anybody that go that way because you got some people that's grow up in that lifestyle where they father, they uncle, they grandfather are tied to the streets, ties like that, where it's like you have to be under this star, you have to be under this principle because it's deep rooted in the family. It wasn't like that for
Mm.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's. Oh, what you said is kind of like, dang. Because although you understand it from that perspective, okay, my family's been deeply rooted in this, this is like the lifestyle, this is the culture. So yes, you don't judge them because you know what it's like and you know how heavy the influence is over, young black men.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, it's like from my perspective, it's like at some point that young black man has to get mature enough to where he realizes like, okay, you know what? This is not what I want for my son coming up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or they have to want better for themselves. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that individuals who get into this lifestyle at a young age, do you think that everyone has like an epiphany of, okay, I need to get out of this? Or do you think that some people just have it in them and some people just stay because they don't have it in it. Like, is it innate?
I think it's all the above. I think it's like it's simple. Like everybody want to be heard, everybody want to be seen, everybody want to be loved, everybody want to be protected. You know what I'm saying? So it's even like that when it comes to like the culture within the streets. Like we want to be protected, we want to be loved, we want to be providers. Like a lot of us, a lot of young men, we do grow up in single parent homes where you love your mom so much you don't want to see her struggle. So you're going to do everything that you can, positive and negative, to be able to take care of the bills. So I think it's
Mm-hmm.
all the above.
Right. Survival mode.
Yeah, survival is one hell of a drug
Mm.
amongst everybody. Everybody is trying to survive.
Okay, so you and I had, we've been affiliated with each other in the community. We've had a conversation that I want to bring up. You were grazed by a bullet when you was what? How old?
14.
So you said there was nothing traumatizing. When you look back in your childhood, there was nothing traumatizing. That wasn't traumatizing for you?
You know, when I relive the moment and think about how it was, because it was like one of them dreams where you had them dreams and you moving real slow. It was like that. I remember it like it was yesterday. I think from that energy of coming from Englewood and have so many of my friends that got murdered, that got paralyzed, or something happened to them, it made me like, yo, I'm still here. You know what I'm saying? The bullet didn't hit me. It could have hit me, but it was like God showed up for me in the moments where when I tried to run away from getting grazed from a bullet, I tripped over like this little gate. I can't describe it. And I fell into like this brick. So I kind of also knocked myself unconscious trying to jump over this fence to get away. My friend, brother Tish, he was right there. And he seen that and he grabbed me and
Mm.
threw me in the house. And when he jumped in the house, the bullet that was meant for me hit his foot. So
What?
I'm just the type of person that try to, when it comes to things that I take a lot of energy from my grandparents' generation. And my grandmother didn't sit around and be like, I'm traumatized, I'm hurt, I'm going through this. It was always God.
Mm.
It was always God. I never seen my grandmother upset, struggle. You knew things was going on, but it was just, she just kept it moving. It's like it could be worse.
Mhm.
And that's the type of mindset that I have. Like it could have been worse. And all praises be unto the Most High. I'm still here.
Joseph, I gotta dive right into this because you was grazed with a bullet, but your perspective on it is so interesting and just unique. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people would think that you'd be traumatized by that, but when you grow up in it, I understand now. It's like, okay, when you grow up in a certain environment, that's literally the normal for you. Like
Yeah.
kids, whatever they're exposed to, they just adapt to.
You adapt to it. Like you got some young scholars right now that hearing gunshots in their community is so normalized it's nothing. We don't even run no more. We don't
Mm.
even duck no more. You know what I'm saying? Some we may laugh at it. We may even been like, yo, somebody getting burnt. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. That's culture.
S- But is the culture messed up though? Just
Oh yeah.
because it's normal, like
Oh
is that?
yeah. Like the culture is built on a lot of things, a lot of ingredients. Like, we could get deep into the culture that relate to the system, that relate to history, that relate to white supremacy. Like that's like a rabbit hole that we'll be here more than an hour building on. We could
Yeah.
bring Uncle Jay into the conversation, like them conversations about culture, because
Hmm.
it's not just melanated culture. It's a lot of cultures that play a part of this whole thing we call culture.
Hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Speaking of culture, you went through a culture shock when you came up here to Minnesota
Yeah. Yeah, I
from
did. Yes,
Chicago.
I
And
did.
even though you came up to Minnesota over north, Minneapolis, and that felt like home, obviously like Minnesota, you got your suburbs, it's bigger than that.
Yeah.
So, what was that transition like for you? First of all, why did you move from Chicago? And what was that transition?
Man, honestly, like after being in the industry so long, I kind of had like a little breakdown, nervous breakdown, where I wanted to start to confronting my mental health, went to go get help, and some things happened where I got tricked and I needed a new release. my mother, that she watched me as an artist for years, from Chicago, Seattle, New York, just moving around to different cities to show my artistry and build like different locations of my artistry. And my mom's was like, you need to come to Minnesota. I'm telling you, once you come here, they're going to love you. Everything that you're doing with the radio performing, the way you speak, just come here, trust your mother intuition.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, like I said, I was kind of going through a mental breakdown, and I was like, it's either going to be Seattle again, or either I'm going to go to Thailand, try to take this teacher position.
Thailand.
Yeah, like my friend, he started this program, shout out to Binky, where it was for artists to be able to travel, Black artists to be able to travel,
Wow.
be around like-minded people, et cetera, et cetera.
Dope.
So I had options, and I was like, I don't know, I'm a teleporter. I move fast. Like when I was in Minnesota, it was kind of, I wouldn't say slow, but it wasn't where I thought I'd be teleporting at, good to teleport at.
Mm-hmm.
And once I got here, it was a very spiritual experience. I feel like Jonah inside a well.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Because it was like when I got here, I couldn't run from what I was dealing with mentally. I had to face it, especially when it comes to Minnesota. I know it's the University of M, but I look at it as the University of Mental Health, because Minnesota is big on mental health.
Wow.
So it was like a lot of things. It was culture shock, because a lot of things, you be in survival mode your whole life, and then you go somewhere and somebody like, yo, you in survival mode. You could put your swords down. You could lay your armor, and it's like, what? I didn't even know I had on armor. Like, yeah, you've been through some things.
How old were you when you moved here?
Let me see. I'm 45 now, so I moved here 2017.
Okay.
So mathematically, what, like 30 something? Like, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you were already grown.
I was already grown. Yeah.
So when did you start moving and shaking in the community for the community and for the youth up here?
So working at Sammy's Avenue Eatery, everybody coming over there. And just with the personality that I have and the way that I was showing up for my uncle, it was like for 3 years I sat back, studying the scene, researching the scene, knowing who's the heavy hitters, nonprofits, organizations. That's what I do every time when I go to a new city and live there. I never just hit it, because you got a lot of people that just go to new cities and be like, yo, I could just come in and do this. And it's like, you still got to pay homage. You still got to ask around. You got to know the vibe. So after 3 years doing that, shout out to my homegirl, Felicia Perry. She connected me with KRSM 98.9 FM. And then from there, it just spread it. Everything that my mom said, it manifested, started with the radio.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of people was like, yo, are you Drunken Monkeee on the radio? And I'm like, yeah. They were like, wait a minute, but you Sammy's nephew. And then like at the same time, I'm hitting the hip hop scene.
Yeah.
So I'm spontaneous, hitting all scenes. And everybody like, wait, ain't you Sammy nephew? And I'm like, yeah. So you Drunken Monkeee? Yeah. So it just, after 3 years of being here, it's like that fire just spread it, and
That's
that
so
energy just been going. And now here I am
That's so
with
dope.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so dope. And I just want to point out the fact, first of all, I want to point out and commend the fact that, you took the steps to consciously be like, I'm going to move to a new city and I'm going to ask the questions of who's who, pop up at the events, connect the dots with people, network.
Yeah.
And that's how you found your grounding. That's how you took root in a new place.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people, especially in our 20s, we're going through a lot of changes. We have the freedom to be able to move from one city to the next, because the sky's the limit for us.
Yes.
And so it's like when you're in that space of trying to figure out where's your space, right? And building your life, a lot of people do be like, okay, well, I'm going to just go here, and I'm going to just see if I can make it pop here. And a lot of people, they either return back to their home place or forfeit their plan of doing something different. And that's because they missed the critical step of doing what you did, which was, you make the move, but like you have to go network. You have to go be social. You have to go get into what you say that you want to do.
Yeah.
Because faith without works is dead.
It's dead.
So it's like you can have the faith to be like, okay, I'm gonna like change my whole life around right now, and but you're not following through with things. But look at what you did. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like you started to build a name here. People started to recognize you here. You know, and it did help that you had your uncle. So he was an you know, rest in peace to Sammy, because he's done a lot for us with the Man Up Club and just knowing Mr. Dean and everything. Was he already here before you came here?
He was already here.
Okay, it helps to have family too,
Yeah,
and
he
people
was
that you do
already
know.
here. And you know, I'm always big, like how it connected was through the sister Siobhan. She brought me over to Sammy's. And then from there, it's like it connected there where like it was a heavily family relationship where Sammy became my uncle. We look alike. Like
Yeah.
all of that is crazy, you know what I'm saying? So and I really took that and I ran with it. So even when I'm in the community, I know that like I have to be on my best behavior because of the legacy of Uncle Sammy. And even to throw this out there to the artists, like I recommend that all artists, like yes, we got social media, but it's the Wild West now. Everybody is on social media.
Right.
Grandma's on social media, the dog on social media, the bird, everybody. When my life end, I want to be able to look back and smile like, yo, I did that. And it's something about when you only got $100 to your name and you got a homie who stay in this city and they like, yo, it's popping, you should come out here. And then you do a little homework and then you just go out there, that go on, walk on faith, take a leap of faith. I am a fan of that. I have sacrificed so much doing that because I have listened to a voice within me saying like, Joseph, I need you to do this. Joseph, I need you to do that. Go to this city. And it's like, yo, I don't have money. I don't have this. I don't know that. How I know it's going to pop? Yo, just do it. And I swear to God, New York, Seattle, Kansas City, Missouri, like everything, like these places that I've been to. And I may get emotional because it's like God has always been like my road manager, right? Because like going to certain cities where people don't know me, people don't know me from Adam or anything, I go to these places and it's like it's already laid out for me. It's already laid out for me to shine, to be able to just be my true authentic self.
That's
And
real.
me being me, it motivate others to like,
Be themselves.
yeah, it's kind of like Joseph in a Technicolor coat. That's what my life really feel like. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Oh, that's real. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Like for real. And see, real men cry. So I honor that. No, they do. They do. They do. And I honor that. I really honor that because I see the passion and I see like, you know what I'm saying, through your story and what you're saying and through like the emotion and everything. It's like God really has came through for you. You know?
Yeah.
Because you've been on this earth for 4 decades.
Yeah. That's
Almost 4
crazy.
decades, almost 45, halfway through the 4th one.
Right.
But you've lived a lot of life. And like for people out there who don't know what they're doing or who want to change their life, or you think that this is going to be like you're stuck in a position, you think like, oh man, this is just how life is going to be for me. It's every day. Like it's so mundane. Like I can't get out this situation. It's like, no, this is a brother right here who literally moved to a whole nother city, state at, you said what, in his 30s, and like created a name for himself, like started to build a community where you can be your authentic self.
Yeah.
I feel like to come to a place and have that community and to be your authentic self and make moves and make things happen and work on your dream and work on your passion, like that's the dream, you know?
Yeah. That's the vibe.
a
That
lot-
is a vibe.
A lot of people get stuck.
Yeah.
And you were not stuck.
And
So-
don't get me wrong, I got stuck when I got to these places. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's when the real battle began because it's like you gotta eat, you gotta have money. You know what I'm saying? And then that's where your morals have to come in.
Mm.
Your morals have to come in because, you know, yeah.
Yes, this is a good conversation. Joseph, we've talked a little bit about that Chicago life. We've talked about how you've been, you know, a traveler, you know what I'm saying, just established your name here. But let's also get into your adult life now. My understanding is that you are a father.
Yes.
Yes. Can you talk about your kids? How old are they? And when did you have them?
Blessings to my babies, my mini-me's, my music notes, the Snuggle Crunch kids.
That's so cute.
Yeah. My daughter will probably be like, I'm not a kid no more. My daughter is 21. She's the spirit of the Snuggle Crunch kids. Her name is Harmony, 21 years old, amazing young lady. Then I got my J. Cole, my Kendrick Lamar kid, which I call Joseph Hendricks.
Okay.
Joseph Hendricks is 15 years old. He's the brains of the Snuggle Crunch kids. Super intelligent, just, yeah. And Harmony is very spiritual, so that's why she's more of the spirit. Then you got the heart, the new baby, Amari Ellerton. He's 1 years old, and like, I didn't think I was going to be a father after 45.
Wow.
I mean, after 40. So,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? It's like being a father I had him when he was, I was 44, his mother was 39.
Ooh.
So it's like it's a different type of energy because you got a lot of different parents now that's over 40s that's still having kids. You know what I'm saying? And that's a whole nother dynamic. Having two babies before him, it didn't really prepare me for where we at now because it's a lot. I got to be on my health. Because think about it, my son, Amari, he's going to be 18 when I'm 62.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
So that's real. A challenge, right?
It
Parenting
is.
At an older age.
It is.
Why?
Because it's like now, I still look like I'm in my like early 30s.
Because the black don't crack?
It do not crack, man. All of that. But it's like, I guess it is real. When you hit them 40s, your body just naturally start doing things that you like, yo, all I did was sneeze and I got to go to the hospital, bro. What is this? Like, man, you in the gym. I go to the gym hard. I train hard. That's my happy place. But it's like my fatigue, I'm tired.
And you got a little baby.
And I got a little baby. So now that it made me really go into like how I'm eating, knowing the difference with starchy veggies, with like the right veggies to put in my body and everything. So it's like it's transforming me to like really take my health serious. Because I don't want to be, and not knocking any parent that take their kid to the park, but I don't want to be the parent that's like, just go run. Just go get on the slide. Just you'll be okay. I'm gonna just sit right here. Like, nah, man.
Right.
I'm trying to flip. I'm trying to all
you
that.
To be that active parent.
Yeah,
I
so
get it.
I'm that parent that's doing dips.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? Like exercising while playing with the kids.
So how did that come about then? So your kids, are they from the same mother? Are they?
This is where it get real.
Okay.
I have 3. I don't call them my baby mamas. I don't let anybody call them my baby mamas. The mother of my children. I have. I've been blessed with 3 intelligent, successful, powerful women to be the mother of my children. And even then, right there, that becomes like later in age. As a child, you played as a child, but now that I'm a man, I must be a man. I feel like now I'm kind of paying for like some of the things that I did when I was younger, careless, not really responsible.
Yeah.
At a young age, coming from a family of women, I seen them go through some things, so I pride myself on like, yo, I'm not going to be this type of man. I'm going to be the ultimate type of man just to get older and become the man that I said I didn't want to be when I was younger.
Be specific about that. What type of man did you not want to be when you was younger?
I didn't want to be a womanizer. I didn't want to be a dude that was just a womanizer, disrespectful, putting his hands on a woman. I didn't want to be, Chicago, you got the pimp culture. I didn't want to be like that. I wanted to be a one-man, great type of dude. But then, of course, you go through hurt, things happen, you go through this, and then it's like fame play a part of some things where it's like, she like me, they like me.
Right, you got yourself up a lot.
Yeah, so it's like I didn't want to live the love life of a musician. Like I was saying, I didn't want to have 500 mother of my kids and 1,000 children. I always wanted to just have that one, but unfortunately, I had, not unfortunately, it was just 3, got 3 mother of my children. And now at the age that I am, it's kind of different trying to manage households
blended
that you're
family.
Not in, blended family. Well, it's beautiful because the mother of my kids, they all respect each other. They all love each other. It's not like a Neo situation or anything, but you know what I'm saying? It's like we got to be cordial for our babies. And plus, they know that they got one of the world's greatest men as their child father. So it's like we all got to work together. But sometimes I still look back and be like, yo,
Question.
yeah.
Are you in a monogamous relationship?
What you mean? Like,
What is it? Monogamy?
meaning like one person?
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Because
yes.
I just wanted to be clear about
Yes,
that because the
yes.
way that it was sounding, I'm like, okay, let me.
That's
ask
why
this
I was
question.
like, I'm not no Neo. It was just
Okay.
like I said, like
the co-parenting and stuff. It works.
it works. It really do works. Like
Okay.
especially when everybody's being honest, everybody being truthful. And a lot of times the brothers, we don't be truthful with ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like child support this, child support that. It's always a cause and effect. This is science. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean by like, I would have played the game a little bit. Not even saying I would have played it different because that's changing the time period of my babies being here. And I don't want to be selfish to them. It's just you look back on things and be like, yo, I would have moved like this.
Different.
I wouldn't have, I would have kept in my pants. You know what I'm saying? Like,
which is real, yeah.
that's real. You know what I'm saying? Like really being sexually responsible.
I feel that. Question. Through those experiences, through those relationships, I'd like to know from your perspective, what do Black women teach men?
Responsibility. Dude, I know they say when it comes to Black men, it's about strength, but I seen strength from my mother, from my grandmother, integrity. The first warmth you feel in the world when you come out your mother's womb is your mother's sensitivity. The warmth, that's the foundation of everything. I think that's why, men, we are lovers. And then even if we're not lovers, if you got a dude that do something bogus, you still have that guilty consciousness because it's like you feel warmth, you feel peace. And even in a Black woman womb, they say that's where one of the most traumatizing place for a baby. I can't speak on that because I'm not a queen. I don't have what you all have. But even now, being a person that I am that's more focused on mental health, I know a lot of the things that I went through started in the womb. You know what I'm saying? So you learn strength, you learn integrity, you learn warmth. My grandmother taught me history. My mother taught me, things that a man was supposed to teach me about when it came to women. I'll be all day talking about what a woman taught me, as well as the brothers in my life. Yeah.
Okay, I love that. That's beautiful. You mentioned that you had your father give you a piece of advice. He was like, son, if you ever get into this gang culture, I'm going to blow you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you were raised by your grandmother. What was your relationship with your father like? So was he present? Like, what was that dynamic?
I would say my father was invisibly present.
Invisibly.
Meaning that he was there. One minute you see me, one minute you don't. It was like that type of energy where like my father, he really tried, but at that time, Black men focusing on their health wasn't the headline during that time. It was a white person thing. So my father had some things that kind of made him like drift a little off, but he still tried. He still tried. Just like I told you, like the only thing that I got upset at my father about was not taking me to see a martial art movie as a kid that he went to go see himself. That was it. But other than that, it's time periods where he came in my life that I still hold to me, that I still think about. And it goes back to even like I was saying with the example of when I got grades. My brother and my sisters. My sister died when she was 2. My oldest sister never really got to experience my father. My little brother, he never got to experience my father. Out of all my father's children, I got to experience him singing. I got to experience him laughing, dancing. This beautiful chocolate melanated man that looked like DeBarge, you know what I'm saying? That was special. That was very special. I got to experience that. So that's the blessing where the blessing come in at.
Yeah.
And my mother wasn't the type to talk negative on my father.
Oh.
You know, she didn't put him on child support. She was like, yo, this is my child, so I got to do the work. She was like, when you get older, you'll find out. And I got older and I found out and I still love them and appreciate them. This is who I come from.
Not ill, but you don't have any like negative thoughts or
No, I'm not. You know,
you're not hurt about it.
I'm not hurt. It's some, of course, I wanted him to be there my entire life. You know, I would have loved him to be there, but, you know, the time that he was in was impactful. So I'm good with that. You know what I'm saying? Like me and my brothers and sisters, we wasn't raised in a household, but we still connected. We still strong bond. Like I got nieces, I got nephews. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate my father. You know, the talented man that I am is because of my father. You know, so I've been blessed with some good things from him, so I'm good with that.
I respect that perspective. Here's another question. Do you think that a person can be an exceptional father if they didn't have their own father consistently in their life?
Of course. Of course.
How?
It's kind of like this. Like me and my homies was talking about, talking about God the other day. And like, how could I put it? He said something dope. He was like, yo, can a person not read the Bible, never go to church, or have a person raise them about love of God, still be a good person? And I was like, and he was like, I could show you a million people that's still good.
Yeah.
That's still great. You know what I'm saying? So to answer that question, yes. Yes, because energy is real. Energy is real. If you didn't know what hate was, if you didn't know the difference between hate and love, and you didn't have these words, the energy of love feel good. It feel great. Like, yo, when I make this person smile, show up for them, it feel good. You feel it in your body. You feel it in your soul. Hate feel different. Even if you crystallize water and put in the freezer and write hate and love on it, it's going to crystallize and freeze different. Everything is vibration. Everything is energy. Energy is still going to do what it needs to do. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So even if you don't have a great father, you could still be a great father and still make the mistakes of a bad father.
True. Period. We'll be right back.
Bars.
We are back with the Man Up Club Presents podcast talking to Joseph. This is a beautiful conversation that I'm enjoying. We have to hit with faith, mental health, just taking care of yourself as a man in this world, because it's so essential. The energy that you give off is just so, peaceful, positive. It's like everything that you've been through. You twice as old as me. So it's like you've been through real life things that I don't have that experience in. But my question is like, how do you take care of yourself up here and right here in the heart? What are your practices that, young men can also follow up with?
I have a routine that I do where it's non-negotiable, where, of course, I got a therapist. Took me a while to get into that world, but I ended up getting me a therapist as well as...
I got to clap for that.
Thank you.
Because our community does not think that therapy is essential.
We self-medicate, what I'm saying,
exactly.
et cetera, et cetera. But, that also goes back to, like I said, like things within the system that didn't happen where, we've been tested on, experimented on, and that's another conversation. So it kind of take us time to get to where we need to go, but when we get there, we're going to go all out. And it took me to get to Minnesota, like I said, to really start focusing on meditation, the mental health world, you know what I'm saying? Things that I already knew, things that I already come from, but like, it's like, yo, no, sitting and meditating, being still really work. Peace be still. That really work. Like meditation really work, whether it's visualization, whether it's Kundalini meditation. It's all different types of meditations. But like,
okay, tell me about a couple of them, because I've tried meditation and yeah, it's brought me peace and stuff like that. But I don't know. I feel like you can reach another level with it.
You can.
So like,
and see, that's the thing.
School me.
Yeah,
school
see, that's
us.
the thing. Like, I feel like when you pray, you're talking to, the creator, whatever way you want to acknowledge the all by, like, man, please cover me, watch over me, that it is. And then it's like, I feel like that's what Jesus was doing for 40 days and 40 nights, being still, meditating, like listening, being in nature. You know what I'm saying? So being able to meditate, being in nature, some of the meditations that I do, some people like guided meditation, some people like to use different type of vibration frequencies for what's that, 432 frequency hertz beta waves.
Oh
It's
yeah, yeah,
different
yeah.
ones,
I've heard
you
of those.
know, but regular meditation to me then brought me to the place of where now I can meditate and just be quiet because at the what I mean by being quiet, I don't need music, I don't need guidance, I just need peace.
You
You
just need
know,
silence,
I
just
just
pure
need
silence.
silence. That's it.
Oh wow.
Silence. And that do something for me. I could feel it in my body. I could feel it when I'm getting ready to rage out and tweak out. And it's
Mm.
like a martial art movie. If you look at a martial art movie, they be like, yo, I need to meditate. That really do something to you. That really calm your energy and calm your chi. So to go from trying to wake up at like between 3 to like 6 in the morning, to go from meditating to do my affirmations, where it's like, I am worthy, I am loved, I'm appreciated. You don't have to do that for like 1,000 minutes. Some people like, I need to do like 20 minutes for it to work. No, you could do 5 minutes. You
I
could do
love that
five.
character.
You could do 5 minutes of it, and then from that I go into like my praying, my exercising, and more importantly, I don't grab my phone and scroll
Ooh,
because
ooh,
I
ooh.
promise you, like people like they, if you're not honest, like we get triggered looking at other people's lifestyles.
We do. I can attest to that.
Yeah, and it ain't even jealousy, and I don't even think it's jealousy where you getting upset, but it's like, man, I've been working this job for so long. I've been doing this for so long. I want this. I want that. It goes back to what we want to be seen and wanting to be heard. So I try not to grab my phone. Like I said, like my lady, she's also into the mental health world where she's a somatic practitioner. So she has really been a safe space for me to really be vulnerable,
Mm.
to really like show all of me. It ain't always easy for her, but thank God for her patience. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like, it's just right now, just trying to make sure that mentally I'm good. And that's also eating right, putting the right foods in your body. Sleep play a part of that, exercise. We know what we need to do to really be mentally together. It's the key word. Do you have the discipline? It ain't about motivation, it's about
Discipline.
discipline. That's it. That's what I realized, man. Like, as much as I need to watch this motivational video, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to be around all these great people. I just need discipline.
Period.
I just need to be disciplined, doing what I need to do that I want to do for myself. And a lot of times we let what my family say, what the world say, oh, I'm a black man, so I gotta be like this. I need to be like that. I need to dress. No, this is how I need to be. This is how I need to move. Even in a time with like everything going on with the administration, with like America,
Right.
and not to get deep on that, I'm like, I'm not letting that stop me from where I need to go. Especially coming from the family that I came from. Like, my grandmother, they didn't have social media, they didn't have technology, they didn't have none of them things, and they made it. And I always remember with my grandma, like, yo, grandma, yo, what did y'all do? What did y'all do? What did y'all do? What did you do? What did you do?
Right.
And my grandma, like, yo, we had love, we had community, the essence of it. So that's where I'm at with now, where it's like I'm going back into like my grandmother rituals of what I seen her do. Like, she didn't go out, you know what I'm saying? And that's also difficult being a person that I am. Just talking to my dude Soul Tudas about that, where he was like, people want to see you out. They like, where's Drunken Monkeee? I'm DJing. They asking like, drunk, 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 drunk. His energy, where you at? Where you at? And it's like, I feel like God got me kind of like in this Phantom Menace stage where it's like what you hear about Drunken Monkeee is like unbelievable. Then it's like when you meet me, it's like, yo, it's like it's like God got me in a place where it's like I can't be accessible. I can't,
Mm.
but you got to go out. Bro, if you believe the creator is everything, if you believe that God is all, why would I trip about I'm not at this party, I'm not mingling, I'm not networking with that party. I can't get caught up in that no more like I used to.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So not being out, spending a lot of time with myself, spending a lot of time with my family, spending a lot of time in nature keeps me grounded. Spending a lot of time, and I'm trying to get better at like being around other creators. I have so many personalities inside of me that like to come out when I'm doing my art
Yeah.
that I like, yo, here. I just gotta be in my own room, my own place creating. And when I'm creating, that's why a lot of people like, bro, I didn't know you was a filmmaker. I didn't know you was a martial artist. I didn't know you did anime. I didn't know you did all these things because it's like, yo, I'm in my own world and you won't know until it's time for me to present it. And it's like, these are the things that keep me grounded. These are the things that keep me together in the time that we living in. You know what I'm saying? Being
Yes.
in this spiritual wilderness.
Oh, I like that. You done made a safe hut haven in this world. Just being by yourself and getting away from the noise
Yeah,
is the biggest.
you got to, man.
That's so good. Here's a couple of as we're in this moment of reflection, I have a couple of statements. Agree or disagree, okay?
Okay.
One, my biggest hardship was not the world, but myself. Agree or disagree?
Agree.
I can relate to that too.
Yeah, we was just talking about that. Like, a lot of us get in our own way. You know what I'm saying? And for me, looking back at me being in the industry, looking at everything, opportunities that I missed up on, it was me getting in my own way. So that's why I'm like, mental health really plays a part of your artistry. Not just, don't use it just for, oh, I went through something, so I'm gonna write a song about it. Like, no, like, you
You
know
got
what
to
I'm
do the
saying?
work to heal that
Do
too.
that, yeah.
Like
Cause
express it and do that, but
yeah,
yeah,
you deserve the heal. We all deserve it, right?
absolutely. Second statement, I regret some of the decisions I made. Agree or disagree?
That's a hard one, but I'm gonna say I disagree. Only because some of the moments wouldn't lead to the light of me being educated, knowing not how to create the moments again. You know,
Mm-hmm.
honestly, yeah. I look at it like the old me will be like, yo, I lost. You know, failures are not losses, they just classes. They're teaching you something. If you choose not to learn from it, then you're going to constantly fail and 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 fail. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, while we're on the topic of mental health, I will say this. There's a reason why mental health in the Black community is life or death. Okay?
Yeah.
The reason why I say that is because one, unaddressed pain becomes destructive. I mean, we see it in our community all the time. Like Black men often grow up being taught to suppress emotion, to man up in a toxic sense, right?
Yeah.
That silence builds pressure, and that pressure turns into violence. It turns into substance abuse, like you said, like self medication in a really bad way, depression. And the other reason why I say that mental health in the Black community is life or death is because there's a real stigma in our culture. You
Yeah.
know, too many Black men, they feel shame asking for help or being vulnerable or crying or whatever. And it's like, no, like that's a normal human emotion. So, that stigma in our culture, it literally keeps people from seeking therapy or talking to mentors or admitting when they're breaking inside,
Yeah.
you
And
know?
then let me throw
So
this
I
in there.
commend you
Yeah,
for your
thank
mental
you.
health journey and just telling people what's really going on. Like, seek that help.
Yeah, because even like as a person that started doing the work, the mental health world even failed me too, and that made me come up with like a slogan. One song I was writing on, like, what happens when a therapist need help? You know what I'm saying? Because I done everything where it's like, black man, go get the help, go get medication, go get that, and then when I went in that world, I felt like I was just a number. You know what I'm saying? I was just an insurance client to get more money and stuff. So it's like, what happened when that world failed you as well? You
Mm,
know what I'm saying? So it's like finding your balance,
right.
finding your inner peace.
And taking matters into your own hands.
You got
You don't
to.
need to go see a therapist to go meditate.
Yeah, you don't. You know, the therapist will be there to help you with some things like the a therapist's job is not going to get rid of what you're going through. They're just there to help you like, oh, you see that?
Process through it.
Yeah,
Yes.
you see that emotion right there? You see that you're crying? Like, I am. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where we start
Yeah.
at. That's why I love my therapist. Shout out to the brother Jan.
Last thought. What's your last thought that you could give on the Man Up Club Presents podcast?
Man, the last thought that I could give is love God, love life, love yourself. Love God, love your life, love yourself. I feel if you do them three things in order, then I promise you the world will be better. If everybody just do them things, then everything will be okay and everybody will be an example to each other. Love God, love life, love yourself.
This has been another great episode. Thank you for coming